This conference will now be recorded.
So hi, good morning friends. So this is Suresh. So in the previous class, so we observed about the insertion of the values into the database. So like we created an object. So what is an object here? So we created a student object and we added some ID and the name and address, email and contact. So these informations we stored in the database. So now what we need to do? So just see the data is already inserted or not. So go to the MySQL command line client. So here, what is our password? Root 1234 and @ So this is our password. So now if we observe, so I'm trying to increase the width of the command prompt. So if you see, so what is showing here? So welcome to the MySQL monitor. Command with R some is showing information, but if we observe, seeing this the welcome information, we are unable to find so whether it is connected to database or not, right? So now what we need to do? So simply we need to use command call connect. So connect. So what is showing here? Connection ID 19, but database is showing. So the database is not showing anything. Like connection ID is 19, database none. So now what we need to do? We need to connect with a particular schema. So what is your schema? S5S, right? So so this is the way we can connect connection ID 20 and current database is S5S. So S5S is our schema. So now if we open our table, like writing a SQL call, select star from student. So what is showing here? Okay, we have only student, not student. Enter. So these are the information we are finding here, right? So we have two records are available in databases. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5, these are the IDs, and Java Technology and Spring JDBC, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Suresh, Ramesh. So these are the information we are available in the DB. So today's class, what we are doing? So by using the ID, so we are trying to get an entire object, right? We are trying to get an entire object. So for this, we are going to write some Java code. So let's begin. So before writing, so what we need to do? So already I think we have a method so to get the student ID. So where we need to define? So this we need to define inside the student DOMPL. So on top of the get student method, first we need to write some SQL query. We need to write some SQL query. Select star from student where student ID is equals to question mark. So this is our simple SQL query. And like we are passing an ID and we are trying to get an entire object. Like what is showing, SQL is already defined. So student record SQL. Student SQL I'm writing here. Right. So now here what is the code we need to write? So we have a method called JDBC JDBC template dot query, we have a method, right? So at first time the Eclipse is taking little bit more. So JDBC template dot query. So if you see how many methods are available here, so same method, query we have, but parameters are different. So these many query statements are available. So up to here, it's taking same query method, but parameters are different. So we need to use based on our requirement. So like SQL query and object or int args type, result set extractor, row color and row mapper. So which one it's like preferable to us? Structure. So result set extractor we need to use. So we need to so we can go for student SQL and we need to pass object parameters, like we can add new object. Here what we are passing, ID I'm passing here, and after that so what we need to do, so we need to use new row mapper. So what is the type here? It is in a student. So this we need to take. So row mapper. So add and implement method. So like we need to use semicolon. So if you observe, so we are passing in a student SQL query and we are passing in a parameters. What is the parameter here? So we are passing an ID. So because so we are trying to pass an ID to get then an entire object. So this row mapper what is going to do? So he is going to interact with the DB and fetch the data from the DB. So add press warning so that so these warnings are we are going to eliminate it. Now so the map row what is going to contain. So first what we need to do, we need to create a student object. So student is equals to new student, and once we create a student object, student dot set student ID, rs dot get int. So the column number we need to give 1. So because the ID is a first column, student dot get name, sorry, set name, we need to use set name, not get name. Set name, so here rs dot get string. So we need to use second student dot set address rs dot get string. Need to use column as a free. So now student dot set email rs dot get string. 4, and the same like then dot set contact number rs dot get string. So last column, this is an fifth. So now what we need to do, simply we need to return student object, right? Simply we need to return student object. If the student object is not found, if the student object is not found, simply we are returning null value, right? So this is the object where we are trying to call this object in the Spring test. So here, what I am doing here, so simply I am calling. So how we can call the get method. So how we can call the so here student devo dot get student, student devo dot get student. So we need to pass an ID. What is the ID we are trying to pass? So 1 2 3 I'm passing. So if we see in the DB, so 1 2 3 we have, right? So what is going to return? Is going to return student object, student object, student 1. So now what we need to do, we need to print the entire object information. So how we can print the entire object information? Like this out student ID student name student address and contact number. So contact number. So this is the way we can print the student object. Now save the program and same as save the UIMPL. So still we are getting a row mapper. What is why? I have surprise funny. Okay. So just run the our object. So run as Java application. Let's see. So I think we are going to get an exception, right? So let's see duplicate entry. So why we get a duplicate entry? Because so the 1 2 3 4 5 ID already existed in DB, right? So this is an ID 1 2 3 4 5 already existed. So again we are trying to create an with the same ID. So now comment out this code. Comment out because so this is our yesterday class. So instruction logic we implemented. So that's the reason that already existed. So we are trying to add same ID. So we are going to get because of primary key. So null pointer exception we are getting line number 26. So can you open that? So loaded JDBC driver exception and null pointer exception. So Spring Test main Java line number 26. So any idea? JDBC template defining the bean data source root of the factory. So that's good. Go to the line number 26. So here we are getting an ID. Null pointer exception we are getting. Okay. So just put a breakpoint here and run in the debug mode. So we will see why we are getting an error. So history debug mode. So the object is available. So object is not getting. So why the object is not getting? We need to see, right? So first again I'm removing the breakpoint. So remove the variables. Open our get student. So now what we need to do? Just put a breakpoint here. So here and here. So now same program again I'm trying to run. So within the debug mode. So that we can get the exactly where we are doing a mistake. So see it's coming here. So first the student SQL is loading or not. So select from student where student ID, right? It's loading and the ID is 123 and click on F6. So we click on the F6. So still the cursor is where line number 28. So we have a result set object is coming. So just click on Control Shift I. So whether the object is loaded or not. So catalog sys is connected. Connection is available, right? So connection is available and so see some raw data. minimize. So click on F6. So what value we are getting inside the result set 1. So 1 to 3 we are getting, right? So now what we are doing here, we are passing into the student ID and click on the second one. So Java technology we are getting. So same like address, get string Hyderabad, it's coming. And fourth one is we need to see the IS, so gmail.com, and student object is returning, right? Student object is returning, right? So now, so why we got still we are getting a null mean? So here the last column we are returning null. So here we need to write if the object is available. So we need to return the object. We need to return the object. So we are unable to use the student because the student object we are creating inside the map row method. We are creating inside the map row. So now what we need to do? So we need to move this student object. So where we need to move? So otherwise, the JDBC queries method is returning something called object is returning, right? So it's returning the list of objects. So we need to use the list of object like we can define. So student object we can define here. So like we can define the list student list. So this is the way we can return the student list object. So now what I'm doing here, so here I'm defining student list is size greater than 0. So then student list dot get of 0, otherwise return null. So this is the way we can define. So now what I'm doing, if student size greater than 0, the student size greater than 0, size greater than 0 means, so if the records are available, so definitely the size is become one more. So greater than 0 like 1 2 3. So if it is greater than 0 we are trying to return so the first record, otherwise we are trying to return null. So just save the student object and use the control again F6. So returning student object. So use F6 only. So see whether the object is coming or not. If you see the student object is coming here. If we open to expand like student ID and name, email, contact number and address. So these are the values we are able to see. So now you can F6. So again click on F6, student, see the student object. You're able to see the student object here. So same like use the student ID, it's printing here. Student ID is printing on the console. So same like student name and address and email and contact. So click on the F8. So these are the informations. So we are now seeing on the console. So just we passed an ID and we are getting entire object. So look, see in the DB same values we are having. So ID Java Technology Hyderabad and Suresh at the gmail.com, some mobile number. So same values. So we are able to see on the Eclipse console. So this is the way we can use the simple JDBC, like how we can identify it. So whether it's a simple JDBC or other one, like using the JDBC template.query. So now what we are doing? So now we are moving into the named parameters JDBC template. So how we can use the named parameters JDBC template? So for this, so I'm moving in the like different. I'm writing a different class call. So open Java resource, expand so that we can able to see. So here inside the model, so we have a student MPL. So now what I'm doing, I'm creating one more class. I'm creating. If we create one more class, we need to change the logic also. So simply we can use here only because we need to change entire our configurations also. Let's see, create another one. So if you want, we can change. Student DOO named parameter IMPL. Named parameter IMPL. So this class can contain named parameter logic, right? So just click on the finish. So here what we need to do, implement student DAO. So what is showing here, use and implement method. So same method I'm using here, but the logic is different. Like we are using name mode parameters JDBC template. So for this, what we need to do, we need to insert the name mode parameters JDBC template. So this is the name mode param. So so it's not coming. Name mode template I'm using the name mode template, and we need to use constructor injection or setter injection. So I'm using the setter injection, public void set name mode parameter. Name mode parameter. So we can copy these two, copy and pass it into inside the like parameter of set name mode parameters. Use this dot name mode parameter is equals to name mode template. So we observed, right? So the configuration, what we need to do. So first we need to create a student DO named parameter IMPL, and in the property we need to use named parameter JDBC template, and the named parameter JDBC template can contain the data source, right? So now what we are doing, so simply I'm like writing a I'm writing the same SQL query. So but here what we are doing, so we are not writing the values as a question marks like before we what we developed here, like so values. So these are the question marks, right? So this is a simple SQL. So now directly we are interacting with property of student object, property of student object. So for this, so what type of SQL query we need to write? What type of SQL query we need to write? So simply I am writing string SQL is equals to uh, insert into student values. We need to provide properties student ID comma name comma address and email contact number and values. So we need to provide the values. So what are the values we are providing? So I am passing like student student ID name name. So one second. So we can move to the values to the bottom. After name, what we need to provide address and email. So contact number. So this is the SQL query. Why we are getting an error? So we need to close one more one. No, one second. Here we need to close. So this is the way we can use. Instead of question marks, we are passing the property of student object. Property of student object. So this is our SQL query. Now what we need to use? So NamedParameterJdbctemplate dot update we have. So NamedParameterJdbctemplate dot update. So what we need to use here? We need to use some map object to insert the values. We need to use a map. So SQL, but date before running in a NamedParameterJdbctemplate update method, first I'm creating map. What is the key here? String I'm using and value also so value also string. Value also we can use string. Map is equals to new hash map. So new hash map. So it's completed. So just pass here map. Now we need to insert the values into map. So because we are passing in a map map object to the update method of NamedParameterJdbctemplate. So now map object is we need to construct like map dot put. So what is the key here? Student ID. Value is student dot get ID. Uh, change the type of string. So remove generic style. Remove generic style. So that we can inside the what map dot put object key. So name value then dot get name. So map dot put. What is an object? Address. Address student dot get address. Map dot put and here email values student dot get email. So map dot object. The last one is contact number. Contact number and student dot get contact number. So these are the values. So we are trying to add into the map. So we constructed like this. So map is contained student ID, name, address, email, contact number. The same map we are passing into the update method. We are passing into the update. So now, so what is showing here? It's returning some message called successfully inserted. Successfully inserted is returning. So this is the method we are trying to insert the values into the database using the NamedParameter JDBC template. So now go to the Spring test. So I'm like commenting entire this code because we need to add different objects like so. So now what we can do here, student do dot add student. So before adding the student, so let's comment. So this message we can use. So now I'm using 45678 as an ID. Spring Hibernate. Otherwise, Spring named parameters. Address I'm taking as a Delhi. So I'm using email as a Kumar. Some random number I'm giving as a like 456789123 5. So like I'm giving. So we can remove because already we are using a student and this message is trying to print. Now so what we need to change? We need to change our configuration. Why we need to change the configuration? So any idea? So because I will explain. So the student DAO, it contains student DAO IMPL, but now we move it to the different class. What is the class name? Student DAO named parameter IMPL. So here we need to change the ref as well as because entirely we are moving into the different class. So the container is trying to load this object. So this containing, so nothing because we are not calling the add method or the get method inside the student DO IMPL class. So now what we need to do, we need to copy this class name. Uh, Otherwise, now we will do one thing. Simply paste here. So copy entire and comment out. Simply paste here. Remove the student DO IMPL. Paste here. Student DO named parameter IMPL. So what we are using? So named template I am using. So ID and ref also same I am giving. So named template. So this it needs to change to named parameter template. So go to the our DOIMPL class and copy this entire import and come to the here paste here. So the named parameter JDBC template can contain the data source. So we are passing named template, we need to give as an ID, right? So now so this is the way you can use. Run now, save. So once we save, so go to Spring Test. Here also we need to save, and the student DO we need to save. Yes, three classes already we saved. So run as a Java application. So student DO IMPL save. So whether it's executing or getting an error. Oh my God! Again we got an error. Let's see. So what is showing? Class not found exception. So why this class is not found in? For being with the named template defined inside the class path, string context exception, nested exception class not found. Okay, named parameters JDBC template. So can we check whether it is executing? Okay, error creating a student DO. Cannot load the bean class exception. We are getting. So why we are getting class not found exception? Go to student DO inside this package Java technology dot model. So the same class we provided here, Java technology model student DO. It's fine. Uh, Driver manager data source, name of template, and the name of template. So property, and here also we provided same property. So same name of student. So looking everything is working fine. Name of parameters JDBC code. So whether we install the string JDBC, let's see the class is available inside the or not. Okay. Let's debug org string framework JDBC code. JDBC code. After that, we have named parameters. Yes, we have named parameters also. So in that named parameter JDBC template class is available. Okay. Named parameter JDBC template is class is available. So why it is getting an error? So simply we need to configure data source JDBC template and so directly we can use. That's it, right? Named parameter JDBC template. So we are doing same thing. Data source, driver manager data source. Let's clean our project. I think still it's taking any refresh. Refresh is not working. Go to my one clean, whether it's clean successful or not. It's success and build my one build. So let's go to spring test student yo. So same we given student yo same student yo named parameters INTL named parameters. Let's see. Okay, it's build success and now run one more time Java. So still we are getting cannot open it because it does not exist. So we are getting some file not found exception. Okay. We have a file inside the uh, configuration. Clean. Again run Java application. Still we are getting an error. So what is the error? So class not found. So where exactly it's loading? Cannot find the class named parameter JDBC template, but the bean name named template. So same configuration we are giving class named parameter JDBC template. org string framework dot jdbc dot core dot named param dot named parameter JDBC template. Right, same class we are using. I'm wondering why still we are getting an error. Class for description class not found. Um, class loader, load class. Transport XML application context, refresh, configuration, refresh context panel. Okay. So anything we are missing? Question, student will be. So we configure properly or not? So this class set named parameter, named parameter, org, named parameters, everything is fine. So give me 5 minutes. I will look into it. Whether what is the problem we are facing. So
This conference will now be recorded.
friends, I identify the issue like with we previously we added semicolon on the end of the named parameter JDBC template. So still again I'm trying to reproduce the issue using the. So here we have added the semicolon. Like I thought because directly I copy from the enter this package. So the semicolon also is added into the configuration file. So that's the reason it's trying to get the particular named parameter JDBC template. So based on the semicolon, we are unable to find. So if I'm trying to save, so we will see one more time. So the same exception. So we got an error. So what is showing? So string again we find the class not found. But if you see the lost, it's showing semicolon. But I did not identify the semicolon. So exactly that's the reason we got a class not found exception. So if you remove the JDBC template and I added some more lines inside the JDBC template like configuration file. Because if I'm trying to use the setter property, so we are getting some setter injection method. So that's the reason I change it to constructor. So here also same, the JDBC name it's having the data source as a constructor or not the property. So I change it to the constructor. First we will see the example whether it is working or not. After that, so if you are using the constructor or if you are using the property, so what type of exception we are going to get, we will see both of us. So now I am changing it to 123.789. I'm giving a different ID and I'm giving this time Mumbai parameter list I'm giving, and this time I'm changing it to Kumar to like what we can give. So some Gupta I'm giving like Ashish Gupta, some anything you can take it. So like I'm changing it to the number call. So 963-852-741 and 3. So this is the different number I'm adding. And if you run our program, so it's successfully inserted. So student message successfully inserted, it's showing. And go to MySQL DB and run the select star from student. So now this time we are able to see 4 records. So this time Java technology and Spring JDBC, Spring named parameter, unnamed parameter list. So the last record which we added like Mumbai, Gupta, some mobile number. So using the named parameters, we are trying to connect with DB. So what is the difference here? So the simple difference is instead of using the values as a question marks, so now we are using the properties. So this is the main difference we are using, and internally we are using one map to add the key comma value pair, and the same thing we are adding into the update the map parameter. So these are the difference. So now, so I will explain like, so first I'm using the constructor injection. Sorry, constructor injection. I'm commenting the constructor injection. So now I commented like it is the constructor of the student DO named parameters. So I saved here and go to the string configuration file, constructor injection, saving and commenting the constructor injection and opening the setter injection. So save, same like use constructor. I am opening the setter. So these are the setter like setter injection we are using right now, and go to the main class and run with the Java application. So if you see, we are getting an exception call. So what is showing? No such method exception because named parameter JDBC in it. So if you see, could not instantiate the bean class. So no default constructor found. No default constructor found. Right. So it's checking with the constructor, not setter method. So that's the reason now I'm changing into like, so the named parameter is getting an exception. So now I'm commenting this property. I'm opening the constructor injection. So if you see, again we are going to see the different exception call. So I am running the same example. So again we got one more exception call. What is showing? Invalid property named parameter JDBC template of class. So what is the class here? So student com.java technology model.student DAO parameter IMPL. So being property named parameter is not writable or and with invalid setter method. So what is showing? So inside our student DAO named parameter IMPL class, so it's not taking the setter method. It's not taking the setter method. So if you see this method does not parameter type of the setter match the return type of the getter. So that's the reason I change it to the constructor injection. So if you move to the student DAO, so comment out our constructor like setter injection is nothing but, so we are setting the named parameter JDBC template to method. So what is the set named parameter method? So just I'm commenting these lines. So setter injection, I'm opening the constructor injection. Constructor injection is nothing but constructor of the particular class and passing the parameter as a named parameter JDBC template. So this is already explained in our basic Spring Core module. So what we need to do? So just we need to change here the property also, comment out the property and open out the constructor injection. So these are the 3 steps we need to do and run our same example, see whether it is executing or not. At this time we got the different error. So why am how I know means, so if you say info loaded JDBC driver, so once the driver is loaded, so how we can see like he is trying to connecting with databases, right? So now what is the error we are able to see? So we got a duplicate entity. Duplicate entity means we have already 12378 record in the DB. So 12378 record already available in the DB. So because of primary key, we are getting this error, but it is not related to the named parameters or data source. So if you change, so if you see the query also insert into student ID, name, address, while is again is using the so simple JDBC, but directly we are using the named parameters also internally using the simple JDBC because it's showing the some question marks, right? So this is the main difference. So if we change the ID as a some different number and you see, so see the message is getting student message successfully inserted. So if you go to MySQL and run, so at the time 258963, the same thing we given 258963. So this record also inserted into the database. So this is the named parameter example, right? So we have one pending call. How we can get the object? How we can get the object? So we will see that one also. So we are going to close or the named parameters also. Like we have one more concept to get an object. So how we can use, like here we need to write some SQL query, right? So what type of SQL query we need to write here? So the getting, I think it is nothing different because so same like string student SQL. So select star from student. So where student ID is equals to, so you can pass as a student ID. Let me try. Completed. So use this is the method we need to use. Named parameter JDBC template dot query. So it's showing lot of what is the suitable for us. Param results text factor, param map we are not giving. Otherwise we can give results text factor, param map, row callback under something row map result text structure. Back the first one is our suitable. So student SQL and what we need to do here, create student. Student is equals to new student and create a map. Map is equals to new hash map. So map dot put what is an object I am passing here, student ID value, simply I can pass ID. Simply I can pass ID. So map, right? So the last one is result set extractor new. So result set extractor is an anonymous class we need to use. So an implement method. So semicolon here and add some surface warning. So it's moved. What is showing here? So the named query string result from the type named parameter JDBC is missing the type. So what type you are passing here? Student. Right. So here also we need to convert into student. So this is the object. So without creating a map, so let's try different concept that first what we need to do, student dot set student ID rs dot get 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 string column 1. Okay. Uh, get hint. Okay. So now student dot set name rs dot get string. So column 2. Same like student dot set address rs dot get string column 3. Email